So after reviewing the last video, I realized that I was missing the DSM criteria, and so I decided to cover that briefly in this next short video. In serving the homeless community, the community that works in the adult industry, and those working within prostitution, all have similar things in common: substance abuse, trauma, and post-traumatic stress, as well as side effects of those things, which being depression, suicide. They also experience issues with schizophrenia. Some of those are drug-induced, but we'll focus just for this content on trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder. So for the criteria for post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, I'm going to cover only three, which are Section A, B, and C. Section A is exposure to actual and threatened death, serious injury, or sexual violence in one or more of the following ways: directly experiencing the traumatic event, witnessing in person the event, learning that the traumatic event has occurred to a close family member or friend, and experiencing repeated or extreme exposure to adverse details of the traumatic event. In this one section alone, all members that I mentioned, homeless, adult industry, and the prostitutes, have similar things. They've either directly experienced sexual violence or some kind of trauma in their life. They've also witnessed family members, typically mother, experience some kind of similar violence, and they've learned about the details of those events because the mother will end up explaining the details, or they see these details, and they experience the events repeatedly by hearing the details. Section B, presence of one of the following intrusion symptoms associated with a traumatic event, beginning after the traumatic event has occurred: recurrent involuntary intrusive distress, recurrent distress dreams in which the content of the affected dream are related to the traumatic events, dissociative reactions, intense or prolonged psychological distress, marked psychological reactions. And so with this one right here, people who have experienced those kind of issues, they will relive these issues through dreams and a lot of exposure. So, and the last one would be Section C, persistence avoidance of stimuli associated with a traumatic event, beginning after the traumatic event has occurred, as evidenced by one or both of the following: avoidance and efforts to avoid distressing memories, and avoidance of or efforts to avoid external reminders. So all three experience the memories, the dreams, and so they'll try to do whatever they can to avoid these events. Typically drugs, and that's one common pattern that these three individuals have. They use drugs and alcohol to soothe and numb and repress those memories and dreams. So by using cognitive behavior therapy, well, first of all, you would have to work on the substance issue and really treat that issue. Once you get that treated, then you start working with CBT, and CBT really start changing their thought patterns about how they didn't do anything to cause these events in their lives. So really start changing those intrusive patterns and thought patterns. And then by using reality therapy, empowering them by telling them that they have the power to change the events here and now. So in summation, this is what I wanted to include for this last piece of the video: how we can use substance abuse, help substance abuse, or help the homeless, the prostitutes, and those working in the adult industry cope with substance abuse, and first and foremost, then treat the other effect, which are the stress, the trauma, and the post-traumatic stress disorder, and by using CBT and reality therapy combined. All right, thank you.